No, we're allowed.
Yes, okay. This is a disembodied Delegate Rosenberg. Welcome all of you to a meeting of the Subcommittee on Government Operations. My video is not working. My audio is working. And we have believed that we can proceed with this meeting since we are not officially covered by the Open Meetings Act. And so the meeting is now in order, and we have two bills on our agenda. The first bill is House Bill 236. Tyler? General Services Energy Conserving Standards, Maryland Sustainable Buildings Act.
So the House Bill 236 required the Department of General Services to establish standards for specified state buildings to conserve energy and minimize adverse impacts on birds. And that will be specified in certain standards updated every 5 years by the Department of General Services. And the Secretary of General Services may adopt regulations to carry out the bill as needed. This is a reintroduction from a bill that passed out of the committee and House last year.
And what was the vote in committee, if you recall, or you have that available, and what was the vote on the House floor?
Vote on the House floor, I definitely have the committee I can pull up shortly after.
House floor was 99 to 38.
I can confirm, yes. And it was a similar vote the year prior.
Okay, and it never received a hearing. Now, what is the status? Is there a cross file?
This year, due to the limitations on the number of bills the Senate can file, the senators can file, there is no cross file. There was last year and the year before. And the cross file passed both years.
All right, so is there discussion on this bill, on House Bill 236?
I'd like to move the bill.
I'd like to second it.
Seconded, moved and
Delegate
seconded.
Chisholm has a hand.
Yes, I can, sorry, thank you. Delegate Chisholm.
Mr. Chair, for Delegate Hill, it doesn't look like it's changed much from last year, but there's a couple things in here that I still have to ask questions on, like DGS advises the bill's requirements to lower the lighting level limits in state building applies to 4,000 current state buildings, only about 20 of which, by its estimation, have the automated control technology mentioned in the bill, which I think is kind of like the automatic dimmers or dimming switches, which are not cheap when you talk about. And obviously, once again, they can't, the physical writers can't put a number on this. And I know that there's also, well, they're going to save money, but that's a number that we can't produce for some reason.
Right.
But I would assume, I'm certain that this is a huge physical note.
Well, so actually, this was a big issue for Delegate Shalega, and one of the things we did to improve the bill was to put in the language this year within budgetary constraints. And where, what is the other word we have there, Tyler, where it says all over again that it has to be, I actually know the phrase and I can't think of it, but the whole thing allows General Services to decide for each building whether this is something they can afford to do. Practicable and within budgetary constraints is, I think, the phrasing.
So they make the independent judgment on their behalf. Okay, we can do this and it's not going to cost
Correct.
an abundant amount. Okay. Thank you. So this is the third year this has been here, Delegate Hill?
Oh, yeah. And
There's
I'm not the first one to bring it up.
I once spoke to a brilliant delegate that told me that just bringing something for 3 years doesn't mean it should pass.
Somebody you ran into on the street, I suspect.
Yeah, maybe.
But at least it wasn't virtual. Yes, the bill does say the department shall reduce the lighting of existing state buildings, comma, to the extent practicable and within budgetary constraints as determined by the department.
This bill has gone through a lot of amendments and compromise. And I congratulate the lead sponsor for her flexibility on making it a better bill and a more generally accepted bill.
Thank
Well,
you
now
very
let's see if we can congratulate, are there any other debate? Before we can see if we can congratulate the sponsor on getting the bill out of subcommittee.
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor of the favorable, please say aye.
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 All those who wish to be recorded in the negative, please raise your hand.
You don't want me to squawk no?
Let's see, so that's Chisholm and Zalega. Just the two of you? Okay. Bill moves forward with all in favor, two oppose, all but two opposed.
Birds of a
All
feather.
but two in favor. Excuse me. All
Either
right.
way.
Yeah,
that was
Chisholm and
good.
I have the same feathers, I guess.
The next bill is House Bill 257. Maryland Commission on Civil Rights, Employment Discrimination Reporting.
Maryland Commission on Civil Rights under this bill would be required to produce an annual report on discriminatory trends in employment discrimination found within the state, and then recommend certain policy changes if needed with that report. And then there would also be a report requirement applicable to Anne Arundel County, Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Howard County, Montgomery County, and Prince George's counties, which each has their own Commission on Civil Rights or similar unit of government. And there was an amendment mentioned in committee and adopted by the Senate on the Senate cross file, just adding a phrase or appropriate agency, just kind of as a catch-all, since not all of these units of government share the same title.
That language the bill would then read on or before October 1 each year, each county office of civil rights or other appropriate agency shall report the following information to the commission. So that is technical in nature.
Yes.
And was this bill before us last year?
It was a prior introduction and passed out of committee last year.
And do you have the vote?
Yes, it was unanimous in favor.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I move the bill.
Second.
There is a second. Is there debate? All those in favor of the motion for a favorable, with the amendment. Sorry,
Right.
we didn't adopt the amendment.
Move the amendment.
The
Second.
amendment, no objection, the amendment is adopted. There is a motion for a favorable with amendment, and that motion has been seconded. All those in favor of the favorable with amendment, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? There being none, it is unanimous. There is no other business before the subcommittee. For the subcommittee chair to get his video fixed in time by 1:30.
Yes, sir.
We are
So
adjourned.
Delegate Chisholm and Shalega.
Thank you. Have a
Thank you
nice,
very much.
get some lunch.
Thank
Delegate
you.
Chisholm and Shalega, I hope you'll take a look at the bill that you were so responsible for improving and consider your improvements as a committee.
I just didn't